Coming up next on Backstage at the Doudna, we'll introduce you to the very talented pianist William Yang, who was just 12 years old when he wowed the audience at a performance here at the Doudna. That's all coming up next, so don't go away. Welcome back to Backstage at the Doudna. I'm your host, Dwight Vaught. We feature performers of all ages at the Doudna, but William Yang is probably among the youngest. At the ripe old age of 12, he performed on the stage in our recital hall, mesmerized our audience with selections from Bach, Beethoven, Liszt, and Chopin. William started playing at age 4 on an electronic keyboard, and when his parents realized he had a real aptitude for it, they got him into lessons with Dr. Paul Worth. By age 7, he was giving recitals, playing Mozart, the Twinkle Twinkle Variations, among other pieces. He's been featured on NPR's From the Top series, played with the Minnesota Orchestra, and has been awarded top honors at several piano competitions. His performance at the Doudna included the standards of classical piano literature, such as Beethoven's Sonata No. 8 in C minor, the famous Pathetique Sonata. Now, these are selections that in general are tackled only by really advanced players, such as upper-level college students and professionals. After his performance, Williams sat down on stage for an informal question and answer session where he told us about everything from memorizing, practice schedules, and his plans for the future.
Not even memorizing, but let's just talk about learning a piece. How long does that take you?
Well, I mean, like, it takes a while, depending on the piece, but probably about 2 weeks.
What?
Wow.
Did you say 2 weeks?
Yeah,
Now, how long to memorize? I don't know that I want to know the answer to this. How long to actually memorize it?
probably about the same, yeah.
About another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So each month you can rattle off one of these.
Yeah, sure.
What are your practice sessions like, and do you need to be reminded to practice? Maybe that would also be a question for the parents.
My practice sessions are usually I start out with the scales, then I move on to Bach, and then I go on to the other pieces.
Similar to your recital tonight, you started with the Bach,
Yeah,
moved on to some Beethoven, some Liszt, some Chopin.
yeah, kind
Perfect. Do you spend a lot of time on scales?
of. No, only about 15 minutes.
Okay, don't listen to that, piano students. You need to spend triple that on scales. All right? Do you need to be reminded to practice? Do mom and dad sort of, hey, didn't spend any time at the piano today?
Oh, not really.
How much time a day do you spend at the piano?
At the piano, I usually spend around 2 to 3 hours on weekdays, and then on weekends, probably 4 or 5.
2 to 3 on weekdays, 4 to 5. That's a good practice routine.
Williams' entire performance, which was over an hour long, was done completely from memory. When he tackles a new piece of music, he says he chooses to memorize it first and then really learn it.
That's a good trick. Really, I think you could talk about that a little bit more if you're comfortable, because the memorization and then the musicality can come after that once you're learning it. But do you find it's easy to memorize as you work through the piece? Just big segments of it will automatically just sort of stick in your mind, so that makes it easier?
Well, you know, with most pieces, there's some sort of pattern that you can memorize, and it's a lot easier if it's like some parts are similar or they repeat, or there's some variation of it.
Most pianists have a trick or a tip. Is there any tricks or tips you can give to any of us if we're trying to memorize something? Anything that just really works for you is click, whether it's a time of day or a particular pattern or ritual that you like to do?
Well, I usually memorize section by section, and I like working at night, so.
Working at night?
Yeah.
How late does it get to stay up, Mom and Dad? How late do they let you stay up?
Well, in our apartment, I can't really practice after 9, so. Yeah. They
Okay.
called the security a couple of days ago, actually, because I practiced too late.
They called security the other day because we was practicing too late. Did security come?
Yeah, the security came, knocked on my
And
door.
what did they do?
They just asked me to stop playing.
Are you thinking about the audience when you're playing, or are you just simply just being engrossed in the music?
I think it's easier to just be in the music.
How about pieces that you do not have in your repertoire now that you hope to someday learn, or maybe that you're working on now?
Chopin E minor concerto, Chopin barcarolle, maybe some more prelude and fugues of Bach.
More Bach and more Chopin?
Yeah.
Some of these composers, Liszt, Chopin, Rachmaninoff, I don't know if you tackle any Rachmaninoff.
No.
Pianists talk about the kind of reach that you need with your hand size. Do you find that with your age and maybe not being fully grown yet, that you have some difficulty with any of that technique?
No, not really.
I was trying to stump him, it didn't work. Is there anything that you play that you don't like?
I don't know.
While he's very dedicated to his music, William does take time out for other hobbies.
Well, I think it's important to have other hobbies because sometimes if you have too much of one thing stuck in your mind, it can be rather exhausting. And I used to swim, and I play a little table tennis, so.
Little table tennis?
Yeah.
And I understand you're also into math
Yeah, kind of.
and working with electronics, specifically your iPad.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're homeschooled, is that correct?
No, I recently got settled down in Boston school.
That's correct. So you're going to the prep academy there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I think it feels really good to play a lot of music, and it's very relaxing sometimes.
I couldn't relax like that. There's no way.
I've never actually tried to play anything besides classical music, so
You don't have any like inner rock and roll that's just itching to get out?
no. Well, actually, I guess kind of. A couple of days ago, I listened to some jazz Bach.
Jazz Bach. Okay, well, it's good to be focused. Do you want to be just strictly a performer, or would you like to also be a teacher?
Oh, I haven't actually thought about that yet, so.
I think we could sign you up. I think there's some folks here who would love to take some private lessons with you. If you were to give some pointers to a young person or even a mature person about starting on the piano, how would you advise them?
Oh, I'd probably say because when I practice, I usually try not to practice just mechanically and just play the same thing over and over again without any thought about what I'm doing. And I think it's important to really think about what you're doing and how you can make it better.
Thank you for joining us for Backstage at the Doudna. More information about the Doudna Fine Arts Center is available at eiu.edu/Doudna. And to catch up on more episodes of Backstage from past and present seasons, head over to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/WEIUTV. We'll see you next time.